Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Variety Talk Show Live. I am your host, Linda Leak, and welcome to Super Bowl 2024. This show is all about different things in the sports industry. But before we get into all the other sports categories, I wanted to take the time out to introduce someone very, very special to our show who has been supportive to Variety Talk for at least 10 to almost 15 years, ever since we started in radio. And right now we are at halftime. So I don't know whenever you're going to see this, whether it's on demand or live on Wednesday nights at 6:30 on Roku. But whenever you watch, make sure that you check out this show because it is imperative that we continue to focus on helping our youth avoid and prevent injuries in football. So as we sit here today advocating this wonderful, auspicious time that we're in with Super Bowl, which is just a time for all of America and the world to take a break and have fun. Let us also remember that the youth and those who are coming up behind those who are out there on the field as we speak right now are needing a way to stay healthy, whole, and secure as they play football. And so, in saying that, I'm going to be introducing a gentleman who is a UCLA, former UCLA football graduate. And he's also an actor, and he's worked in films and commercials and television shows that are just limitless. And most of you would probably know him as OJ. He played OJ in the OJ story. But most importantly, his love for football and his love for humanity has allowed him to create a 12-step tackle program that will aid in the prevention of concussions. And this program is so outstanding that it has been accredited and is actually a law in Southern California. He is now a football coach. He is presenting this 12-step tackle program to children all across the world, and we can't wait to share it with you. This will be a series that we will begin and end all the way throughout the spring and maybe even going into the fall, letting all of you know the importance of keeping your children, I would say adults and children for that matter, safe. Okay, so without further ado, let's bring them right on. Bobby, are you with us?
Yes, Linda, how are you?
Hey, there's that wonderful face. Hello, Bobby Hosea.
Hi.
Variety Talk family, welcome Bobby Hosea to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Appreciate
All
it.
right. And I failed to mention in all of those accolades, which were just about minute compared to all of the things that you're doing, you are the CEO and the founder of Train 'em Up Academy. So
Yes.
welcome, Bobby. Welcome to the show. How's it going? First of all, we're in halftime right now as we speak. Are you watching? What do you think about the game? How's it going?
Well, they're kind of filling each other out. They're both great teams. San Francisco's defense is outstanding right now. They're doing well. They got a quick touchdown there at the end of the half, towards the end of the half. So it's going to be a tight game. It's going to be tough. So I think it's going to get fiery in the second half because they've been filling each other out. Now they're going to cut it loose.
All right. Well, I'm talking about cutting it loose. Did you see Usher? Well, we were kind of getting set up right here in the middle of halftime. Oh, I tell you, he and Alicia Keys, they tore it up. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I kind of snuck and watched it a little bit while you were getting set up with the editor. Okay. And by the way, ask me who I'm rooting for. The Chicago Bears.
Yeah, next year.
What can I say? This is just, I'm a Chicago girl, and I remember Refrigerator Perry. Okay, so I'm waiting on another Refrigerator Perry to come back. But listen, well, first of all, who are you rooting for?
San Francisco 49ers. I have a kid. Well, he's not a kid anymore.
We know why you're rooting for them, and let's get started with that since we don't have a lot of time to spare. Another very important thing, Variety Talk family, that I'd like to share with you, and that Bobby will share with you, is a story that he actually trained one of the San Francisco football players who are playing now, Mr. Deshaun Goldson. So
He's
tell us the
coaching.
story. I'm sorry?
Well, he's coaching. He's coaching now. He used to play for the 49ers. He played for the
Oh,
49ers
he's
for 6
coaching
years.
now.
Yeah, he's coaching the secondary. He's a defensive back coach for the 49ers right now. But
Okay.
in 1997, he was a fifth grader. And my first year coaching little boys, because my son was 12, he wanted to play tackle football. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I'll help out because I don't want you to get hurt. And I ended up being the head coach reluctantly because the other coach had to quit his job, wouldn't allow him to be able to do it. And I was scared to death, Linda, because out of the 25 kids, maybe 19 of them shouldn't be playing football for real. And the other 9 or 10 are going to eat them alive in practice. So I was just very concerned. I never wanted to see a little boy couldn't get up after, what I told him to do. So I ended up just saying a prayer. I said, Lord, teach me to teach them because I'm concerned. And I ended up teaching them how to tackle like I did, but I didn't have words for it. I just showed them. So Deshaun, if you ever talk to him, he'll tell you that the first week or two, all we did was practice tackling. We never ran any plays because tackling is that important to me.
Wow, and that's amazing. So here it is, and you mentioned to me, and we'll get into this as your series goes through about the specifics and the science of how this all got started. But when you were teaching him as a kid, tell us a little bit about that.
He wasn't big. He wasn't. My son was bigger than Deshaun, but he was very physical and he was very gifted and he was very intelligent. So he could do everything that I did. So everything I told him to do, he could do. And so I'm telling him stuff I did at UCLA. I'm telling him stuff I did in the pros, and he was doing it as a fifth grader. So he's really a corner, but his senior year at Washington, he hurt his ankle playing basketball this summer. And it ruined basically his senior year, and he got drafted in the 4th round, and he went to safety. And he had a great career. I think he's the best tackler in NFL history, to tell you the truth, especially with the way the environment is now, tackling the way they don't know how to tackle. They want to put their head to this, all this crap. But no, you just dip and rip, hit the ball carrier with both shoulders simultaneously where your head is always up, and you'll be fine.
Well, I'll tell you, you simplified it for us, but I can't wait to get into the meat and potatoes of your 12-step program, and the fact that it is now it has been accredited and it's a law in Southern California.
Well, I want to correct one thing. It hasn't been accredited yet because I haven't sent it into that particular. But it doesn't have to be accredited because it's scientifically proven that it prevents brain injuries, and so accreditation is just something that you meet a standard of academia. Okay, this has nothing to do with academia. This has something to do with keeping your brain from being damaged while you play this sport, and it's possible. Been doing it for 29 years. And it's kind of phenomenal that Deshaun now is in his 3rd Super Bowl, first as a coach. And his former teammate at high school, Roy Lewis, won a Super Bowl his rookie year. So they all were taught to tackle the same way. So it protects them and it gives them a great life after football. That's what's mainly important.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, what a beautiful story at this time. How apropos to come in and share that with us. That is absolutely amazing. Well, what do you think as we're going into 3rd quarter now? What do you think, speaking of someone that is coaching now and that has played with UCLA, what do you think everybody needs to do what do you think the Kansas City needs to do in order to catch up to San Francisco?
Well, I haven't had a chance to see the 3rd quarter because everybody makes their adjustments at halftime. So that's the best coaches make it the next series, and then in halftime you really make your adjustments, especially in a game like this. So I haven't seen the 3rd quarter just yet because we've been sharing each other's time. But I would suspect they're going to open up because they're going to see what was open in the first half, because Kelsey was open a couple times. I seen him grab his head coach and yell at him about it. But so they're going to find some ways to score, and San Francisco's going to do the same thing. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a great second half, I think.
Great, check it out. Well, okay, so tell us briefly about Train 'em Up Academy.
Well, Train 'em Up Academy is about, I started it in 2006. I actually came from an audition, and I don't know if it went really well. Because I just said, Lord, I don't want to do this no more. What do I do best? It's kind of like communicate with kids. I said, well, what do I know best? The answer was football, but the gift I gave you, and it was tackling. So I said, I'm gonna go teach everybody how to tackle like Johnny Appleseed, just like for real. And so I go online and so tackling equipment shows up, but also concussions show up, paralysis show up, and deaths. And then a stat, each year there are more than 448,000 football-related injuries to children under the age of 15, totaling more than $6.89 billion every year. Just because adults don't have supervision, they don't have a standard of care to control their behavior and how they teach children to tackle. They do it whatever they want. And so California passed a law. Now you can't teach them that anymore in California. In California, you have to teach them the highest standard. And it's a civil rights violation if you don't. So it's like that old
civil rights violation if you don't. Wow.
I don't remember if you remember that old oil commercial. The guy says, "See me now or see me later." Well, now right. it's see me now. It's because it's time to stop. This is real. Children are being harmed for the rest of their life. They never get to know who they're really going to be. So,
yeah, pretty amazing. And now with this technique, adults will be able to as well if they can grab this and how can they get it? Do they download it? Do they register with you? How can they get involved with this? Even before we go into the series of really involving people in the science of what you do, how can they get a hold of you right now?
Well, you just go to my website at thehoseamethod.com. That's HOSEA method.com, thehoseamethod.com. And you will learn the history of injuries past and present about football, and you'll start to understand why it is the way it is today. A lot of it has to do with the monetization of the sport. And since the 1800s, they've been teaching the single shoulder tackle technique. Just watch this game. See guys put their single shoulder on the hip of a ball carrier. They've been doing that since the 1800s, and they're not going to stop because it's injurious. And everybody that's been hurt doing it, the industry is liable for that. So they're never going to admit that it's wrong. So it's nothing to do with them. It's up to the players to protect themselves because they're the commodity. Without the players, you have no football. So players get it. It's you that they're coming to see, not the owners, not the league. They're coming to see you perform. So your life after football, think of Junior Seau. Think of all the guys that committed suicide, that had brain injury, came way before you. It's not a Tarzan Jane situation where you're Tarzan and all those guys are Jane. You're just a human being like everybody else. You got to do it right.
Amazing. That's amazing. Well, you know what? I'm sure a lot of people cannot wait to dig into your story, how you got there and how you're continuing to help humanity in avoiding these issues, these concussions, and all of the other problems that go along with tackling in the way that is not your technique. So everybody make sure you go to the HoseaMethod.com and begin your research right now. We're going to bring Bobby back, and we're just doing a little halftime thing right now because we thought it'd be fun, and I've been trying to get Bobby on for a while, but I would have
About
to be
10
honest
years.
with you. That's right. That's right. It's been a minute, and so, and I loved when you came on radio with us. I'm going to go back and try to see if I can find that tape. You haven't even done TV. It was radio. So just thanks for joining us today, Bobby. We appreciate it. We want everybody to download or to go and research his method and then give him a call. All right. And start getting signed up. And then you can learn with us as we go forward as he unwinds this whole theory that he's got in terms of saving lives. And Bobby, just quickly, because I'm sure a lot of people want to know, what position did you play with UCLA and what was that like?
I was a corner, and it was great. I loved it. You played some of the best receivers like James Lofton. He's a Hall of Famer. He's probably one of the best receivers I got the chance to play against, right? So there's a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that you got a chance to play with in your junior college career that you watched them while they were in the NFL. So it was just, and now you get to see everybody now, older, when you go to various reunions. It's a trip. It's great. It's awesome. To live long enough too.
I'm sorry?
I said to live long enough to experience it. Like I'm 68 now. So, I get to, some of my guys ain't here no more, but I'm still here. So
It's shocking, isn't it? It's just amazing as we get older and people leave the planet. It's pretty crazy. One last question too. Those who are in the industry want to know what it felt like to play OJ in the OJ story.
A lot of a mixed emotion. A lot. I was asked, what do you think he did? I said, I know we're in an age where everybody gives their opinion, but sometimes it's best to keep your opinion to yourself. And the lady said, well, that's really politically correct. I said, no, there are 2 children who don't have a mother.
Absolutely. And I can imagine that as an actor, you take on that character. You become OJ. And so, speaking of mixed emotions, what that must have taken to study, to research, to feel what OJ was feeling, to become OJ was tremendous. And so I just give kudos to you right now for the work that you did and the successful work that you did. So kudos to you just in your acting experiences. So as always, we love to have you on, Bobby, and thank you again. Everybody, make sure you stay tuned and look forward to the next segment that we'll have. It'll be a lot longer and it'll be more detailed in terms of what Bobby's doing to help everybody avoid concussions. So anyway, Bobby, we're still in the third quarter. So I hope you enjoyed the game, and I'm glad that your team is winning. And go Bears! Go Bears!
Go Bears! Go Niners! Thank you, Linda. I love you. Have a good day.
Love you too.
I'll see you. All right.
See you soon.
Bye. Bye.
All right, everybody. You've been watching Variety Talk, and we'll see you again real soon. I am your host, Linda Leak. You've been sitting in with Bobby Hosea, the owner, CEO, founder of Train 'em Up Academy. Make sure you go check them out.